Hi, everyone. This is Evan Langert with the Langert Commercial Group. Hope you're all well and getting through this coronavirus scenario okay. I want to address with you today a question that's been coming across my desk a lot lately, really ever since this coronavirus epidemic started. And the question's coming more from restaurant tenants than anyone else, but also from retail tenants and now office tenants and industrial tenants as well. And it goes something like this coronavirus has hit my business really hard. In the case of a restaurant, I can only do carry out or delivery right now. In the case of a restaurant, and frankly, any other kind of tenant, I've had to lay off 40% of my staff. I've had to shutter my doors. We've been encouraged or required to self quarantine or home quarantine myself and my staff and not to come into the office or not to come into the store, or we're a non-essential business, things along that line. So this is a huge burden on me already. But while this is going on, do I have the additional burden of paying rent to my landlord, or is there some way I can get out of it? Well, the first part of the answer is what's in your lease. As in almost any situation with a landlord and a tenant, that's where the answers for certain situations can be found. So we need to perform a review of various clauses of your lease to see what they say. The most salient clause for something like this is called the force majeure clause. Force majeure would be things like acts of God, wars, strikes, famines, labor shortages, material shortages, things along that line. And what a force majeure clause will say is that while one of those things is affecting one party in the lease's ability to do what they otherwise need to do in the lease, they're forgiven, not permanently, but just while the situation is going on, from undertaking that activity. For instance, let's just say that there is a shortage of materials and a landlord has to make some repairs. And that repair would require wood, 2x4s, 2x6s, whatever, plywood, but you can't get any because the stores don't have any. Landlord does not have to make those repairs until after they're able to get wood to make their repairs. And that's typically how a force majeure clause would work. Unfortunately, they almost never mention, things like illnesses or pandemics and things along that line. Landlords won't put them in there. And then the other unfortunate aspect of this is 99% of the time there's a carve out in the lease that says payment of rent isn't subject to force majeure. So no matter what happens, if any of these things happen, you still have to pay your rent. So we will look and see what your lease says. There could be some other things in some other clauses that give us something to utilize. But that's the bad news, potentially. But the good news, if you can call this good news, is that this is affecting a lot of people, a lot of tenants. And so it's not like you just go to the landlord and say, things are bad, I need rent relief. And the landlord can say, well, too bad for you, I get my rent on the first or you're out. They stand to lose 40, 50%, maybe more of their tenants in a lot of cases because this is so widespread and people have been hurt so much. So they have to deal with this. Most landlords are not stupid and they've been around a long time. They know that now is the time when you can either make a good relationship and forge gratitude in your tenant base, or make a bad decision, in my personal opinion, tell everybody no. And then some people will go out of business. Others will live through this. And when it's time for their lease to be renewed in 3 years or 5 years, they'll remember that you were not there when they needed you the most. And so it's really a bad maneuver on a landlord's part just to say no to everybody. So outside of the four corners of the lease, in a lot of cases, we can get you some sort of rent relief with your landlord. I've been doing commercial real estate for 35 years. I've been an attorney since '85, broker since 1991. I have hundreds of leases in my rearview mirror of all types. And I'll perform a free review of your lease and the clauses that are in it, let you know where I think you stand. And if you decide to engage me, I can go forward to your landlord and we can talk to the landlord and see if we can get some rent relief for you. If you want to talk, I can be reached at 443-529-0505. That's 529-0505, or you can email me. I'm at elangert@thelangertgroup.com. That's elangert@thelangertgroup.com. Elangert is ELAN as in Nathan, GERT as in Thomas. Stay well. I hope everybody gets through this okay, and I look forward to speaking with you. God bless you.